Hey, yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Sonn Rondue and Gh0xtTheRebel, and welcome back to Fusion Struggle Podcast, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything whenever we want. This is going to be a very short episode, give or take, depending on how long we decide to talk about this. Nigga. Yesterday.
Oh boy. Today's day is the 3rd of May, by the way.
Today's day is the 3rd. There has been a total of 17 releases in WWE, give or take. I could be wrong. But these releases actually shocked us. So, in the main roster, Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Kaden, and Katana were released. And that was wow. And in NXT, and this one shook me to the fucking core, Cora Jade, who literally, in my opinion, has to be like one of my favorites next to Roxanne in NXT female NXT superstars. Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Jakara Jackson, Riley Osborne, Oro Mensah, Javier Bernal, I almost said Bernal, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, and Danny Palmer. Also found out that Shotzi will not be renewing her contract once it expires. So this is depressing. My initial thoughts on, and I'm just gonna talk about the roster, the main roster right now. But my initial thoughts on at least in my opinion, the high profile talents on Raw and SmackDown, like Braun and Shayna and Dakota. Why? What fucks me up about this is the women's division to me seems to be shrinking. Like it's not expanding, right? And this is just on the main roster. Because we have the same old song and dance when it comes to the tag titles, the women's tag titles, right? We now have a women's Intercontinental and United States Championship, which don't know why that's even a thing, but whatever. And then, of course, we have, the women's world titles. I feel like when it comes to the competition, there is more, or at least there was, more than enough competition for a lot of these women superstars to get their piece of the pie. And the fact that people like Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, didn't really get to have that moment, or and let me not leave out Katana and Kaden, who would have been perfect contenders for the tag titles.
They're former tag champions as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that. They're former tag champions as well. But like, we keep doing this song and dance, and it's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? And Braun Strowman, who was literally just released, a year or two ago. And knowing what he's been through, and the mental health and everything that he, suffered during being away, just to be brought back, put over talent, not really being put in any title pictures or anything interesting of that nature, just putting over talent and then being re-released. Like, what? Like, it's just depressing. What were your initial thoughts, bro?
Well, my initial thoughts was upsetting. It sucks, because you don't want to hear like these people just aren't employed with the Fed anymore. I don't know. I think it's kind of coinciding with the conditioning that if like these releases do happen versus like these releases have been happening for a few years now. But and they suck every time. But I feel like we're getting to a point, at least in my opinion, that this is going to happen annually. post WrestleMania, they're going to let people go, and it's just who's going to be on the chopping block. Now, I feel like more so now, and I'm going to say a disclaimer, that the stuff I'm about to say, for the most part, y'all are probably not going to like, but it's giving you a different perspective of how this stuff probably happened, or what I can speculate, or like, you know, just giving you a different taste versus just like saying like, yeah, this sucks and yada, 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 whatever, shouting into the internet. But there's logical means as to why some of these do happen compared to years ago. They gave us a whole whack ass excuse of budget cuts or yada, 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 whatever. No, the Fed have more money than God. Okay. So they're not, this is
God's
not
all eternal.
right. So like, as far as the Fed, like if people are thinking this is like, oh, they're trying to save money and yada, that is not the case. Okay, they charge
$1 billion company.
Literally, they charge thousands of dollars for WrestleMania 41 seats, like it almost in the nosebleeds. So like, they're not clamoring for money because people are going to pay anyway. But
crazy.
The thing is like, initially it sucked, but even because we talked about this like almost 24 hours ago, roughly, and even later in the night, as I'm still like processing everything that was happening, I can still see like, okay, these are prone to happen, sadly. It's just how we receive it, how we go about it, because of course we'll get over it. I'm more so, I'm not really concerned as much. I was about to say I'm concerned with the wrestlers. Some of these wrestlers are going to be fine. Like, and I'm going to try to break down just a little bit in rapid fire of why they're going to be fine. But people like Dakota Kai, let's say, for example, going to TNA, she's going to be fine. She's going to be a world champion in the indies, bro. Because her name is out there. Her legitimacy is out there. Same with Shayna Baszler. If they choose, and this is also saying, if these people choose to still do wrestling after the fact, there's prominence there. Some of these could be a godsend. The thing that bothers me the most about this is not even the decision from the Fed. It's more so of how people are reacting to it. Because nowadays, for the last several years, when these releases happen, we are wearing our emotions on a turtleneck. Not even on our sleeves, on a goddamn turtleneck, to where the emotions and the feelings of the stuff that is happening overshadows the logistics, like the logical thing. I'm not saying I agree with these firings, because I don't. But the reason why some of these is happening is like, let's say, for example, Braun Strowman. Yes, he got released before, and they brought him back. The thing that people keep forgetting is that this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation of a business. Stuff like this is going to happen. If you're not going to get used that much, if they don't have anything for you, why keep you on the payroll? Yeah, they do have the money to do such, but at the same time, this could also, on a different angle, be looked upon as freeloading on the wrestler's behalf, which is not even the case. I'm just speculating, right? You don't want that to go around either, because you're the top dog. You're the top wrestling promotion in North America, damn near the world at this point. So you want to make sure that you stay like that. You have to have strict rules. You have to have strict parameters. Triple H probably didn't even want to do this, but if you're not going to use people, you have nothing creative for them. And we don't even know, like going back to Braun Strowman, let's say they couldn't find anything for months at a time. What are we going to do to you? Like, because if we put you on TV, now your reputation is in jeopardy. You're going to be jobbed out. I would rather be let go out of my contract and still preserve my, I guess what the children say nowadays, aura. I would rather have that preserved than to get watered down to a jobber just to keep the job and to be in the company. That's just my take on it. But again, some of these people are going to be fine. Like, we still got prominence in TNA. We got prominence in AEW. We got prominence in New Japan. And a lot of the times, like, this is not the end all be all, because we've seen great examples of people having the greatest tenure of their career when being released. Matt Cardona, look at him. Look at Mercedes Moné. That's not a release. Like, they quit, but still, like, they found prominence elsewhere. So it sucks, but we have to stop this whole tribalistic attitude and bullshit and relying on social media for this sort of information. Because here's the thing, y'all. IWC, once again, I'm talking to you because y'all won't shut the fuck up. But you are not in the booker's shoes. You are not in the wrestler's shoes. Yes, you are valid to your emotions. It sucks. Like, I was hot. I was fucking livid to a sense. But I try to look at things from a different perspective. Not discrediting the other one, but I'm like, okay, what's the reasoning for this? How come they let these people go? Seeing like the ins and outs versus like someone got let go. You have no information. You have no research. You have nothing. It's like, you're shouting, you're bitching and complaining for nothing. And you don't even know the full story. So I guess my advice to people is like, just gather your own research first before you just go on Twitter. You see a headline that's probably not even factual, because people are starting to believe when you got a blue check mark next to your name, that means you're legit. You can pay for those. You know that, right? Y'all know y'all can just pay for that. You can make an X account today during this podcast and subscribe to the podcast at the same time. You can do that, buy the check mark, and be quote unquote legit. Bullshit. You're faking. Okay? Get your own research. Do your own thing. Make your own judgment calls. These people are going to be fine. Okay? I'm actually excited for what's next for some of these people. Because I have to go back to Braun Strowman, right? If you were the booker, how would you book Braun Strowman at this point? Like, before the fire, right before, how would you book him?
So I think this is something that we also talked about yesterday, and I kind of made the comparison to like Big Show in 09, you know, about how he was shown as this beast, like Undertaker, who's an OG in the fucking game. Even Undertaker, it was just still crazy, like wrapping my head around it, because Undertaker is a dominant force, and it's like, damn, Big Show put this nigga out like many a times. So, like, I would want to try to kind of give him the Big Show treatment, but because but you see, they kind of tried doing that back in 2018, 2019. So I can't, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know.
No, and that's valid. That's fair. I see where you're going through it, or going towards it. The thing also, like, it's a complicated scenario, and it's a complicated question for me to ask, just because it's also a difference in eras. It's difference in who was in charge at the time. Back in the day, it was Vince McMahon, and we knew what he liked as far as a superstar, and a lot of people came to prominence because of that, but it was like the same cookie cutter shit. Now, because Triple H is in charge, and because we have AEW, I feel like the tribalism is just gone out of control, because people are doing the whole blame game to an extreme. If there's something that the viewer doesn't like, they'll make their voice heard, unprovoked, unnecessary most of the time. Like, oh, I didn't like this booking. I didn't like this. This is a horrible booker. Yeah, whatever. It's just like, you're not in their shoes. I don't even know to the full length of like how to book somebody, but I do know that you got to be careful. You can't just please everybody, especially on the internet. You can't please everybody. There's certain ways you have to book people. Either they get organically over as a person, whether it's like they're on a dominant streak, or if they're in a jobbing streak, because that's now a thing. It's a weird time for wrestling, just because the stuff that we grew up with is kind of like flipped on its head. But I'm tired of people placing the blame on other people when they don't even know what goes into their job. Like with Tony Khan, hell, with Nick Khan, Triple H, like that job is tough. It is tough because you have to keep the individual wrestler's reputation in mind. You have to plan out certain things. You have different creative pitches thrown at you, and you see what kind of goes or like what kind of sticks, and it makes sense versus just like, oh, the internet said I deserve a push. Oh, well, okay, let me go ahead and push you. Like, that's fucking stupid. I don't want to say a beautiful example of what I'm talking about. Zelina Vega becoming U.S. champion was beautiful. Kind of overdue, but when she won, it was very cathartic. It's like, hell yeah, I like that. And she was released, and she came back. She had prominence. But I'm tired of the blame game. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people talking when they should have just shut the fuck up and just watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you like it, watch it. You're not going to be pleased every now and again. Okay. We were heavily disappointed back in the day, even in the Attitude Era. But guess what? We kept watching because we love wrestling and we're going to always love wrestling. Just sit down, watch it. When you're done, turn it off, go to sleep and wait for the next week. Versus like, by the same time, social media has enabled people to monitor wrestling 24/7, which is fucking bad. Stop. This is supposed to be an escape from your individual lives. And if you are hard-pinned on wrestling, which means you are not hard-pinned on your own individual life, which makes you, in my eyes, a fucking loser. But let me bring it back. They're making this way too deep, dog. They're making it way more than it's supposed to be, and it sucks the fun away from wrestling, period. Because people won't shut the fuck up. Trust the process, watch the program, go on with your day.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also, I feel like a lot of people are, when it comes to social media, obviously, everybody has this notion that they're safe behind a keyboard. Mm-hmm. They're safe behind their phone. So, obviously, everybody, the IWC, the keyboard warriors, they're all going to say what the fuck they want. It doesn't matter. Now, granted, I will say some of the tweets that I have been seeing, like, I agree with some, but it's very slim because, everybody's, everybody's everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, as much as because I like you said, we kind of had to process this very quickly, and it's like, at this point, ain't really much we can do because it's not up to us. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as long as, because the gravy train is going to keep rolling.
Exactly.
WWE is going to keep being WWE. Mm-hmm. TNA is going to be TNA. AEW is going to be AEW. Nothing is going to change unless either Hunter dies, God forbid, Tony Khan dies, God forbid, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's, at this point, it's just, it's whatever. Like, it sucks, but from the videos I've been seeing from all these other superstars that have been released, they chilling.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they chilling.
Yeah. And so it's like when I see, because I literally just saw a video of Braun Strowman like chilling on a jet ski on a boat. You know what I'm saying? Cora Jade drinking with some friends. Like, if they, because I ain't gonna lie, I was really concerned for Braun because of the mental space he was in the last time he was released. So, like, I was really worried about him, seeing, where he was going to be at. But if everybody chilling and everybody not minding what's going on, I mean, shit, cool. I mean, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, but Nick Nemeth. Mm-hmm. Nigga became world champion in TNA. I think he's currently the tag team champion.
Yep. With his brother.
I mean, look at the Hardys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, at this point, it is what it is. Wrestling's going to be wrestling. Wrestling's always going to be here. And as long as these people have that passion to keep doing what they've been doing, then cool. And if they don't, then that's cool too.
Exactly.
It was great having them on, having them a part of our lives. You know what I'm saying? So, And like I said, like, it sucks. And I think the fact that you put it in a perspective, like, not even in a perspective, but you said it in a way where it's like, it's not saying it doesn't matter, but at the same time, like, they gonna be fine. We gonna be fine. Let's just enjoy wrestling and shut the fuck up about it.
Right. You know, like,
So
to reiterate again, I'm not happy with the releases, but they gonna be fine, y'all.
Yeah. So,
So, like, and the thing about, I guess, the releases happening during the pandemic, that was far worse, right? And that was under Vince McMahon. In this case, which happened recently, it's like, we don't know a situation. Maybe their contracts just naturally expired right around this time too. We really don't have the full details. And usually when it comes to contracts, it's like, well, some contracts are public knowledge, some aren't. So this just could be like the batch that just wasn't renewed. And they have total wherewithal to do that. Like, they can say, we're not going to renew your contract. And the wrestlers know that. They do know that. And at the same time, these wrestlers are extremely grateful because they made it. They were in the fucking Fed. Not a lot of people can say that. Like, whether you were in the indies or you went to different promotions, you went through NXT, or you found yourself going all the way to the main roster, or hell, even on the WrestleMania card, you fucking made it. And the wrestlers know that. Okay? So first of all, keep the wrestlers in mind. They're in good spirits, but chill on the fucking blasphemy of like, oh, you kept this wrestler, but you released this one. Like, stop, bro. Shut up.
well, I'm seeing a lot of that about Logan Paul, so.
I mean, I feel you on that one, but I think we all know why that exists. It only exists for one purpose only. Like, on some real shit, I feel like if I was Triple H, I feel like Logan Paul kind of understands this too, just given his whole personality. They don't like each other. Or maybe they do, but they don't like each other. But this is not about feelings. This is about business. If you can bring in these numbers, if you can move this sort of shit, come on in. We got something for you. But if not, get your ass on. But at the same time, they're a multi-billion corporation. Sorry. They're going for the money. They're going for the moments. And sadly, he is money and moments. So that's... I feel you. I don't like the man. But at this point, it's definitely... That's about money and moments. And we understand that.
Double M.
Yeah, Eminem. You know what I mean? Where Melina fine ass at? Anyway.
So my next question is, what do you think the potential long-term effects of these releases on on the Fed's roster depth and talent development?
First of all, like, the Fed's gonna move as normal, as whatever. Just because, sadly, and I hate to say this, just because these people, for the most part, weren't used that often, with exceptions of Gigi Dolin, Eddie Thorpe, and people that we just saw on television either this week or the week before that, and all of a sudden now we can't. I remember when Indy Hartwell got released, her release came on a Saturday, and she was just on that Friday night SmackDown. It's just like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what? Well, what's going on here? Like, we just saw you and now you're released. Like, what the hell? So, as far as developmental, like, they're going to be fine. I'm expecting some call-ups from NXT to go on the main roster and to supplement NXT. Now they have LFG and now they have Evolve. So they're probably going to start from the bottom as far as like LFG, Evolve. The next tier would be NXT. The tier after that would be either Raw, or actually Main Event. And then from Main Event, you will go to Raw and SmackDown, and then you'll be a mainstay. But they have a huge roster. Like, if not a main roster, they have a huge developmental roster, and they constantly have people scouting for new people to bring in. So they're gonna be fine. But as far as I'm worried about certain programs. And it's very specific. Shit. Like, and you touched upon this earlier. I don't know if it was earlier today or a previous podcast. The mid-card titles for the women. Once again, they're in a detriment. And I knew right when they were about to bring them in, I was apprehensive because they don't have enough people in the mid-card scene in conjunction with the women's tag team titles to justify them making these titles. I felt like this was a thing that was heavily shouted via social media, and the Fed took up on that, and they just made this for the time being. I have no idea. I know what I'm trying to say, but I felt like if they had a bigger roster, then yes, justified. Please have a mid-card title, run some programs on that, and then you have your dedicated people in the world title picture. It's the same thing with the men. You know, you have like the world title contenders, and then you got like the people in the middle that can have a title, but they're still like, you know, doing their shit. Like the Miz, an example, right? He's great in the upper mid, but he could main event like every now and again if need be, every few years. But then you have people like Roman. That's typically top. You're never going to see him in the mid card. But with the women,
ever,
you're just like, I don't know, if they can flesh out that division a little bit more. First of all, showcase more than one women's match, but yeah, just have a little bit bigger of a roster to justify these mid-card titles, and then maybe, because we do not want the same shit over and over and over and over, like you were alluding to Brock and Roman. We don't want this. We retired that. It's over. It's dull. And at this point, we're going to shout until you fucking change it. And we'll hijack a show. So there was somewhat of good prominence with the tag team division without the mid-card titles, because you can have individual people, but then every now and again put a random team together for contendership, see if it sticks, and then boom, there you go. But now I feel like everything is going to suffer as far as the women's division, because you got rid of some really good contenderships in there. You could have ran some programs and just tried some shit that we haven't seen before, but now that's out the way. It's like, well, fuck, like we're going to be seeing some repetitive programs, and we're done with that. Just now, I mean, the tag titles was already in jeopardy. Now you got the tag titles and the mid-card titles. That's bad. That's bad. So, but at the same time, we're just going to have to see what they do. So I'm thinking they're going to bring Julia up here to Raw. I think fully they're bringing up Roxanne, which is well overdue. I think Stephanie might be called up. Even though she was just NXT champion, but at the same time, I feel like she doesn't really need like a long run with it too. She's just too fucking good. Like you could just bring her up, or have her do double duty if you want to do that. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like we're also just like, we're too into the weeds too. Like, cause we've been watching wrestling for so long. We've kind of seen everything. Like we know the ins and outs of shit. So it's like, okay, well, because Charlotte's not going mid-card. Nia, I don't see her with a mid-card title. Like, you kind of need some mainstays at the tippity top. But in the middle, you need a bigger roster. Like a slimmer main event scene, but a bigger mid-card. That way you can do a lot more with that. But we'll see. Now with the men, I don't think the men are going to suffer. So the men's roster was way more exploded than the women, I think. Yeah. So they'll be fine.
Yeah. So kind of just depending how everything goes. I mean, I think everything's going to be all right. So it is what it is. Let's just sit back and just see how this goes.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're valid for being upset. You know, I'm not saying don't be upset. It's just y'all being upset for too long. Like, stop. Wipe the milk up, okay? Wipe it up. Stop staring at it.
That's crazy.
Fucking weirdo.
He said, wipe it up.
Yeah, let's cry over spilled milk. Y'all staring at it for a week. Wipe it up. Go on with your life.
Facts.
Fuck. But if it's Bloody Mary's milk, hold on now. Anyway, yeah, end the episode, bro.
I was going to edit right there.
No, let's get another question.
Oh, God.
No, y'all, I just watched Sinners. 10 out of 10. Go fucking see it. Jeez. I want to see it again. I want to see it again. It was so good, but I need to probably start being an actor so I can holler at Baby Mary real quick.
Jesus Christ.
You can follow Rondue at.
Follow me at YouTube, Twitch, everything creative, SONNRONDUE. You can follow Ghost the Rebel Freak Ass at.
He said you drooling, and there was a pause. It's like, you want some? Lord have mercy. You can follow me at glitchgrave.com. Haley, you can slide in my DMs anytime you want. You can follow me glitchgrave.com, glitchxgrave.com, and all that good shit. And thank y'all for listening. The wrestlers are gonna be fine. Stop crying. Let's just watch wrestling together, y'all. It's fine. But I am a freaky
I
ass nigga.
second that. And we're out.
It ain't Sunday or Sunday. There it is.